and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Akron Rotary Club's meeting. And today it is Tuesday, September the 7th. And for all or any of our dear Jewish friends, today is Rosh Hashanah, and we'll run all the way until the sun sets on Wednesday, which is recognized as the beginning of the new year. So let me officially, with the ringing of the bell, call this meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to call on Thane Billow to lead us in our invocation.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So I know we just celebrated Labor Day, and what I'd like to do is maybe just do like a little history about Labor Day, then do a reflection, and then close with a prayer. So I found this out yesterday. This is the origins of Labor Day. The first observance of Labor Day is believed to have been a parade. There was 10,000 workers in September of 1882 in New York City. And it was organized by a number of union employees led by Peter McGuire, who was the head of the Carpenter and Joiners Union. So 10 years later, by 1893, more than half the states in the Union began the practice of observing Labor Day on one day or the other. It was kind of sporadic. We didn't have one designated day to observe Labor Day. Then in 1894, Congress passed a bill making Labor Day a federal holiday, and that bill was signed into law by President Grover Cleveland. So that was the very first time, 1894, when our country, our union, celebrated Labor Day. So that's some fun facts now, just to lead you in a reflection and to close with a prayer. And Labor Day, I found it nice. We get a day off. We can rest up, spend time with our families. I don't know about you guys, but I have found the last 18 months to 2 years just incredibly challenging. As a funeral director, I've felt I've had to work harder than ever because of the pandemic. It's difficult to minister to families. Work is different, telecommuting. There's just so many areas of our lives that are more challenging. And sometimes I find myself a little burned out. It's tough. You put in long hours, you don't feel appreciated. I think you guys know this too. It's just a really challenging environment right now to work. So I found it very nice to have a day off. Me personally, though, whenever I get worn down or burned out, I always look to others for inspiration. And what I did this past weekend was I actually looked to Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Many of us know her as Mother Teresa. Her feast day is September the 5th. So we just celebrated her feast day in the Catholic Church. And Mother Teresa, in case you guys didn't know, she was born in Albania to a really poor family, and she became a nun. And she spent her entire life providing missionary services to the poor in Calcutta. And if you think, there's so many people who she personally touched with her hands. Volunteering is tough work. Being a missionary is tough work. And she devoted her life to serving people and to spreading the gospel in India. So what I'd like to do is just share with you one of her favorite scripture readings and then close with a prayer. So this is going to be from the Gospel of Matthew, and it's the 11th chapter. And at this time in Jesus's ministry, there was a lot of pushback. He was receiving a lot of persecution from the Pharisees and Sadducees. His cousin, John the Baptist, was actually in jail for proclaiming the good news of the gospel. And Jesus himself was very perturbed, and he was kind of beaten down and worn down himself. And this is what he shared with his disciples. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So just to close with a prayer. Almighty God, whose Son Jesus Christ and his earthly life shared our toil and hallowed our labor, be present with your people where they work. Make those who carry on in industry and commerce of his land responsive to your will, and give to all of us a pride in what we do and a just return for our labor. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Thane. And also thank you for the history that you shared with us. And Mother Teresa was an incredible human being. So thank you so much. Now, if everyone would kindly join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then if you would be kind enough to join me in the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Our greeter today happens to be our own Doug Cole. And Doug, if you could share with us about any visitors we may have.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see people on the screen. I think we're reduced right now to a smaller number, one screen today. I'm not sure that I recognize any guests on the screen. Will you give me a hi or a chat, a nod to me in the chat if you are a guest today, other than, of course, our esteemed speaker, who will be introduced at a later, in a few minutes. Any other guests today that you can bring to my attention? Well, hearing no comments, I'll turn it back over to President Steve so we can move forward with the meeting.
Thank you, Doug. Wanted to share a little bit of family business. I know we've got a couple birthdays. Today happens to be Terry Dalton's birthday. And so happy birthday, Terry. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. And hope you're going to have a wonderful birthday dinner this evening. Additionally, yesterday was our own Andrew Grover. He had a birthday. And then on a sadder point of news, Doug Hoskinek, his father passed away last week. And so keep Doug and his family in your prayers, if you would. And then our beloved Cheryl Warren lost an uncle just this last week as well. And he was in his 80s, but he was a very, very strong man, and unfortunately succumbed to COVID. So our prayers, Cheryl, are with you and Steve and the rest of your family. I'd like to take us into our Rotary History Minute. And today, I'm actually going to be sharing with you regarding a past president. I'm just going to give you his name because I couldn't find any information with many Google searches on him. But the year was 1917 through 1918. And George N. Hawkins was our Rotary president. But around the United States and in the world, there was a lot going on. Woodrow Wilson was our president, and the Russian Revolution was full on under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin. And it was at this time that the royal family, Tsar Nicholas and Tsarina Alexandra and their 5 children were all assassinated by the Russian Red Army. And also on a good point of news is 1918 was the year that World War I finally did come to an end. However, a total of 40 million lives were lost. Following the war, immediately the world was hit with the influenza pandemic, better known as the Spanish flu, which killed millions around the world. Estimates are between 25 and 50 million lives worldwide were lost. And so that kind of puts in perspective what we've been facing with COVID. But thankfully, with the world rallying pretty quickly, those numbers have been highly reduced in comparison to what the Spanish flu was. Now, as a result of the effects of World War I and the Spanish flu, I want you to listen to these average life expectancies, which are somewhat sobering. In the year 1918, the average life expectancy for a man was 36 and a half years. And that is somewhat sobering. Additionally, ladies, you only lived about 6 years longer, so it was 42.2 years. And so much for a tough time in the combination of those two events colliding. The Boston Red Sox won the World Series back then. And believe it or not, there was a tie for the collegiate football champion. It was between Michigan and Pittsburgh. And so I think I saw Dr. Rob on here. And so vicariously, Dr. Rob, your guys in Pittsburgh were able to bring home a national title in 1918. The average income for 1918 was $1,500, and the US population stood at 103 million people. Now, to put that in perspective, today we have over 330 million Americans. So we've seen 3 times that amount of growth in just a century. So that's a little bit about our history for today. Now, I think Stu Buchanan is on with us today. And Stu, I know you also had an announcement you wanted to share. Would you like to share that with us?
I would like to. Good afternoon, everyone. That's quite a history lesson there, Steve. I just thought I'd take that all in. Anyhow, I got an email from the Rotary Director, Elizabeth Yusovic, Zones 30 and 31, about needing some help for relief donations for the communities in Zone 31. Since Zone 30 and 31 are part of our group, we'd like to, I thought maybe we could make our Happy Dollars today go for donations for Hurricane Ida for the Zone 31. Some of the communities were Golden Meadow, La Place, Galliano, and many more. Rotary clubs in those areas are already providing food, water, and help. But I thought maybe we could do that. Just a little sidelight to that, the president's rep at the last actual convention we had for the district was Dave and Julie Bixler, and they're from down outside of St. Louis in that area. That was the when Bev was the district governor. So I thought we had some connections with that. I'm going to put $100 toward the donations for the communities for Happy Dollars. Thank you.
Thank you, Stu. And with that kickoff, and we will take today's Happy Dollars and we'll put it toward those needs. Is anyone else happy today? Nobody happy after a 3-day beautiful weekend?
We need some help.
Well, Stu, I'm going to put it in the newsletter also, and there is a link to donate directly, which I've already done. So thank you for bringing it up at today's meeting, but I will also include it in the newsletter.
Thank you.
For those that would like to do it that way. You're welcome.
Steve, this is David. I have 20 Happy Dollars.
Thank you. Thank you.
In honor of Stu's event here, as well as was at the Akron Youth soccer game last night, where our number 19th ranked Zips took on Pitt, who was ranked number 3, and Akron came out on top 2-1. So it was a good night for them. So it's going to be I think they got a special team. Should be a fun year to watch them.
Thank you, David. Way to go, Zips. Bill Manby.
Hey, I'll give $25. It's my 25th anniversary next Tuesday, provided I make it that far. It's kind of nice seeing everybody, but I really miss getting together and person meetings. So hopefully we get that changed here soon as well.
Thank you, Bill. And really, so your anniversary is on the 14th?
Yes.
So is mine.
Oh, well, great people got married on that day.
Yeah, and I'm going to match you with $25 as well.
Cool.
Anybody
Congrats.
else? I see Miss Laura Smiley.
Hi, everyone. Hey, I have $10. I want to thank Jonathan Wylly from IBH for the 10 years of support that he has offered to RAC and Recovery here at the summit. I'm really excited to hear what they're up to. I know they have a big anniversary to celebrate as well. But September is National Recovery Month. Just an FYI to everyone out there that, the topic of recovery, we hear more and more about every day, but it's something to recognize that there are people going through all forms of recovery, not just addiction, but just mental health and stress and trauma and all the things that Thane mentioned earlier that have occurred in the last year have triggered a lot of things. So just a special shout out again to Jonathan for being our speaker today from IBH and the continued support for RAC and Recovery. So thank you very much, Jonathan.
Thank you, Laura. Anyone else happy today? Dr. Rob.
Sure, I'm always happy as the football season is about to begin. I would predict that both my team and the majority's team going to have their hands full on their opening kickoff. So I'll put in $25 and glad to support Stu's effort.
Thank you, Rob. Candace.
Hi all, I don't have my video today, but I have 20 happy dollars basically just for this lovely weather we've been having. The last couple of days have been beautiful and it makes me happy.
Yes, thank you so much. Hello, Karen.
Hi, everyone. When Laura talked, it reminded me, Jonathan, you and I haven't met yet, but I'm going to put $25 in and thank you. I work for the Akron Community Foundation and part of, we're doing something for our fund holders to educate them, our donor advised fund holders, and Jonathan's going to be part of the panel on October 5th. So a new effort to, a lot of our fund holders want to know about philanthropic things. So our focus is on supporting people in recovery. And so thank you, Jonathan, for being part of that panel on the 5th. So
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Karen. Anyone else that is happy today? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you for your generous offerings. I wanted to bring everybody up to date on what's going on around Akron. And this has been going on for a while. The Akron Art Museum has been having their bold color in the 1980s. It's free on every Friday and Saturday. So that's a worthwhile event to take advantage of. This Friday, Open M, who's been doing a tremendous work in the inner city, is having their annual Gala Fundraiser, and it's going to be at St. George's Church on Ridgewood Road, right between Fairlawn and Copley. And then this Tuesday, September 14th, next week, is Break the Cycle of Addiction. And it's going to be presented, there's a presentation by our own beloved Rotarian Chris Richardson. And that's at Stan Hewitt from 4 to 6. And coincides with our speaker here in the sense that thank God we have so many wonderful organizations working in the realm of addressing addiction. Then mark your calendars, Saturday, September 25th, we're going back over to Kenmore. And thankfully, we're going to be working outside. We're going to be working with Tina Boys and the Community Development Corporation over there and looking to do some painting and to help beautify the storefronts along the boulevard. I'm looking to recruit again, and I think that they'll be there to join us, our friends from 100 Black Men, as well as having some of the folks from Goss Memorial Church. So if we're fortunate to have the good weather we had a week ago, it's going to be a fun day from 9 to 12, and love to see many of you to come out and to help raise the water level, as it were, there in Kenmore. And is Dave Miller, are you on today? Does anybody see Dave Miller? Okay, then I'll go ahead and make this announcement. We're going to finally come back together for a little bit of fellowship, and we're going to do the after hours meeting, and we're going to be meeting at the Cigar Lodge on Thursday, September 30th at 6 p.m. And yes, they have a covered outdoor patio. And so I'd like to invite you to come. Yes, there are cigars, there's bourbon, there's scotch, but they also have a number of specialty drinks, and this is open to anyone and a great opportunity to bring some folks who might possibly be in your circles of influence who are considering joining Rotary. And it'll be a wonderful evening just to kind of kick back, fellowship, and have a little bit of fun. And then lastly, our dear Miss Jerry Kiefer is doing an art show at the Akron Women's City Club. She's got a presentation that's going on that will actually culminate with a reception that her mother, Jenny Wino, is hosting on October 16th from 5 to 7. And if you've never had the opportunity to see any of Jerry's work, I'll tell you, it's somewhat spectacular. I mean, she's amazingly creative, and what she's put together is of just the highest quality. So I would encourage you to take advantage of stepping out for that. Now, are there any other announcements that any of you may have? And if so, just raise your hand and then we can let you share. Okay. I think we're good to go. Well, Rob McGregor.
I just wanted to make an announcement or kind of a tease in front of next week's meeting that, believe it or not, it's that time of year again where we will be soliciting both the board and the club for nominations for officers for the generations to follow Tom Knauer.
Thank you, Rob. Anyone else? Okay, without any further ado, I am going to introduce Jonathan Wylly, who is the Executive Director of IBH Addiction Recovery. And he's also brought along Margaret Reymann Skinner, who is the Vice Chairman, and she's involved with the Reymann Foundation. And so we're privileged to have both of them today. And probably what I'm going to do, Jonathan, after I introduce you, is I'll let you tell us a little bit about Margaret as you would lead in. So Jonathan is the Executive Director at IBH, and he's responsible for overseeing the administration, the programs, and strategic planning at IBH Recovery. He formerly served as the Chief Financial Officer for the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board in Franklin County, as well as the Deputy Director, Chief Financial Officer at the Ohio Department of Alcohol and Drug Addiction Services. He earned a bachelor's degree in criminology at Ohio University, a master's degree in public administration at the Ohio State University, go Buckeyes, and completed courses at Duke University in strategic leadership for state executives. Currently serving as chair of the Asset Management Committee for the Reymann Foundation, Jonathan also is a member of the Ohio Council of Behavioral Health and Family Services Providers, Mental Health and Addiction Advocacy Coalition, and the Ohio Alliance of Recovery Providers. He's an avid snow skier. He enjoys playing the guitar, and he's been involved in lacrosse for more than 20 years. And with that introduction, welcome, Jonathan, and we look forward to what you have to share.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. First of all, a shout out to Karen and Laura. Thank you for your support today. As far as myself, I'm new to the area, so to speak. I've been in Columbus most of my career and relocated up here to start working with IBH just a couple of years ago. Of course, most of that's been through the pandemic, so it's been quite the challenge on top of getting used to a new city and a new organization dealing with the pandemic. But IBH is doing well, and we're persevering and continuing to provide care to our clients. I just wanted to also let you know, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So hopefully you can all see that. So some of you may know IBH Addiction Recovery. I recognize a number of names on the list today. But for those of you who don't, we are located down in the Portage Lakes region of Akron on South Main Street. And if you're going to the Cigar Lodge coming up soon, we are just south of that near Killian Road and Main Street. We've been here for 50 years. We are celebrating our 50th gala this month, at the end of this month, September 30th, at the Knight Center. So if any of you are interested in attending the gala or learning more about it, our website's really easy to remember. It's just ibh.org, and all the information about the gala and everything else that we're doing here at IBH are located on our website. So we're located down on South Main Street. Some people pass our place and they see the white picket fence and they don't really know who we are up on the hill. I've heard everything from horse farms to camps, but we are an adult addiction recovery center. We're an 80-bed facility. We treat both men and women, adult men and women, and have been doing that at this location for more than 50 years. Recently, IBH has recognized that while our bread and butter will always be residential treatment, that in order for us to compete and survive in today's world, and we are a 501c3 non-for-profit, that we must expand out and provide more services, more array of services than just the residential services. So since I came here a couple of years ago, we have been working on expanding our services so that we now provide more than just residential services. We provide outpatient services and day treatment services, aftercare services, and sober living or sober housing services. So the staff has been very, very busy. And again, doing this in the midst of a pandemic has been a special challenge. But we are getting there. We are starting to provide those services. And it's really allowing us to maintain contact with our clients for a longer period of time. And as I think many of you know, the longer we can stay in contact with our clients and keep them in treatment and have a relationship with them, the better chance they're going to have for sustained recovery. And that's ultimately our goal for all of our clients. I'll scroll down here. Many of you are familiar with our history, but our mission and values. IBH Addiction Recovery offers persons with alcohol and drug addiction the opportunity to restore hope and gain skills for a lifetime of sobriety. That's very succinct, but well said. At the end of the day, that's what we want to do. That's our focus, is on our client care. And that's what we're trying to do. For some numbers, just for some reference, these are 2020 stats. We're updating our 21 stats. We served 674 individuals that year, 435 of them male, 239 female. And I'll just add to that right now, as far as I know, IBH is one of the last, if not the last, residential addiction treatment centers for the female population in this area. So that's very important to us, and we want to maintain those services for the women in the Akron area. Our average admission is between 18 and 69 years of age, although I will tell you our most common demographic are folks in their 20s and 30s. Our average length of stay is kind of misleading. It says 25 days, but that includes those folks who might come here and leave after a day. They get here and they don't really aren't ready or don't like what we do, or in this field of addiction recovery, that kind of thinking is pretty common. But I will tell you that for those of the clients that successfully complete treatment here at IBH, they're still experiencing a 60 to 70 to even 80-day length of stay with all of our new services that we offer, which is really, really good. When we switched to becoming a Medicaid agency, which happened a couple of years ago, and the state of Ohio changed the rules of the game, everybody was worried that the managed care organizations would come in and really shorten that length of stay down to 30 days, which for anybody who knows this field, 30 days is barely enough time to get to know the clients and what really is is affecting them, let alone provide a good treatment plan. So we're very pleased for those clients who are successful to be able to stay with us, in that 60+ day range. Of the 674 that we treated, over 400 had approved planned discharges, which is a very high rate, which means that more than 2/3 of our clients who come here successfully complete treatment. So that's some of the numbers. One of the other things that we do is provide aftercare services, and it's called our REACH program. It's very important, and it's always been kind of a keystone for recovery programs, that a sign of a good recovery program or provider is the strength of their alumni program, if you will. How well does the provider stay in contact with clients once they've achieved recovery and completed treatment? Our REACH program is a premier aftercare program in this neck of the woods. It provides a safe community for those clients to meet with other folks in recovery, to meet with those folks who are living the same lifestyle they are, and gives them a safe place to go and commune with other folks. Another big aspect of our REACH program, and really the recovery model, is that we give back to the community. So our REACH program participants consistently provide community service, community service projects, everything from cleaning up parks to painting facilities or cleaning up grounds, feeding, for serving lunches or meals to different institutions. And that's really, not only is that giving back to the community, but it's very important for those folks in recovery to feel that sense of giving back as a part of their sustained recovery. So that's our REACH program. I'll sum up my comments by letting you know that as a part of our expansion from recovery service, residential services here in the Portage Lakes area, we purchased a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, a building in the Firestone Park area. For those of you who are familiar with the old Boy Scout headquarters, they're in Firestone Park, right there at Firestone and Main Street, across from the softball field, professional softball field. We have just completed our renovations on the Firestone Park location for IBH, and hope to be opening up that location here in October or early November. As we transition there, we'll be moving our outpatient services that are now located in Portage Lakes. We'll be relocating them down to Firestone Park, which we think will give our clients a lot better access to services, being a little bit closer to downtown. Even though Portage Lakes isn't really that far from downtown, for a lot of folks, it seems like it's way out in the country. So we'll be providing our outpatient services, expanding our outpatient services at Firestone Park, and also expanding our REACH program. So our REACH program will be located at Firestone Park. We'll be doing a grand opening of that building coming up soon. And I invite any of you who want to attend to do so. We'll be sending out information about that later. But it's going to be the host of the REACH program. There's great meeting space at this building, and safe space, again, community space for people in recovery to come to and just talk to somebody. If they're having a bad day, something's going on in their recovery journey, it gives them an outlet, a place to go that's safe, and where professionals will be there to talk to them. So that's what we're doing, and that's where we're headed. I'd be happy to take any questions at this time.
I have a quick question. As far as the REACH program is concerned, is it part of your aftercare program after residential, or is it a standalone program?
Yeah, great question. So REACH is a aftercare program that is designed, we start engaging the clients while they're still in residential treatment. So we inform them about the REACH program. We actually, depending on how far along they are in their recovery and treatment, we actually let them participate in some of the REACH activities. And so we do the best job we can to tie those clients in. So as soon as they're finished with their treatment here, they have that environment to go to and a safe place, which, we have a 90% success rate of those folks who participate in treatment and the REACH program stays sober and out of the jail or out of the hospital for for, the first 30 days after treatment. So 90% is quite a high number. And Judge Michael, thank you so much again for referring clients to us. It's a big help, and we love working with the court system. So anything we can do to support the courts, please let us know.
Well, we've had very good success with our people that have completed IBH and the aftercare program. I was just asking because there are some people who are screened by the ADM board, but they're not screened for residential services. So that's why I was wondering whether the REACH program could be available to our people in the community that need some care.
Good morning.
So Jonathan, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
Will the Old Boy Scout facility and REACH have an opportunity for a neighborhood AA meeting there?
The answer to that is yes. And we're working with the community to make sure everyone knows what IBH will be doing at the Firestone Park. We met with Councilman Kamer, and we'll be speaking at one of his community meetings to introduce ourselves to the Firestone Park area, and letting them know that it's an available resource for the community.
So Jonathan, I have a question, and your numbers of just helping a little bit less than 700 people last year, and then the statistic of 90% of those being able to stay clean for greater than 30 days. What do you see as far as long-term recovery / freedom from addiction? Is there any study on the percentage of people that are able to completely come free?
Well, I don't know about specific studies, but I will tell you that relapse is a part of our disease. So addiction is a disease of the brain, and having long-term studies of is specifically difficult in this population because of just trying to stay in contact.
Akron Rotary Club.
So, but we know that relapse happens, and it can take up to 3 or 4 treatment episodes to get somebody sustained recovery.
When you talk about your success rate, what type of time period are you tracking? How far in the future are you tracking after someone completes their aftercare to determine that amount? The reason why I'm asking that is because I run the domestic violence intervention court program for the Common Police Court, and we're kind of struggling with that. What is the look forward? What is the gauge to success?
Sure. So right now our studies or our follow-up is limited to 30 days. We are in the process of putting together a 60, 90 day outlook. It gets very difficult after that amount of time to stay in contact with folks. We're trying to get our systems set up so it's more like your own healthcare, where you have a portal into our system and you can sign up for that as a client, both during, after your treatment's over. So we're hoping that'll improve our abilities to stay in contact with folks longer than 30 days. So that's what we're working on right now.
Thank you. Would you like to introduce Margaret and have her share a little bit? That'd be fabulous.
Sure. So I also have the pleasure of sitting on the Reymann Foundation, as Steve mentioned earlier. I've been with them for a year now. It's a great organization, and I'll let Margaret talk about it. So Margaret Skinner is a part of the Reymann family. We also have John Reymann, who's our president, on the line. They have, we thought since together we could share with you guys at once and maybe, knock off 2 different organizations. So with that, I will turn it over to Margaret, and she can introduce herself and the Reymann Foundation.
Well, hello, everyone, and thanks for allowing John and I and John Reymann the ability to bring our cause in front of you and hopefully solicit some support and educate people on what we're doing. The Charles and Salome Reymann Foundation is actually a foundation that's been alive since 1967. So we're over the 54-year mark. And I happen to be a direct descendant of Charles and Salome, and John Reymann, our chairman, is as well. And the foundation was founded in honor of my grandparents, Charles and Salome, with the effort to, or the intention to carry on their good works that they so generously exhibited throughout their lives.
I can
I was
speak
gonna say-
on for Margaret, or as we call her, Mogi, until she signs on. I'm John Reymann, and I'm a descendant of the Charles and Salome Reymann Foundation. It's a foundation that, of course, my great-grandparents,
Everybody's
my
gone.
father started back in 1977.
We're down to 20 now.
So it's our pleasure to be on this call today. I am a former fellow myself, Rotarian in Worthington. Had to drop out because of my involvement with the Reymann Foundation, and I've been on the board here for 10 years, and now I'm chairman, and I only have so much time in my life, my family, business, and charitable stuff. So, but did enjoy the time I was there. Still have good connections here in Columbus with the Rotarians, and thank you for the work you do. I mean, it's amazing what you guys do, and on an ongoing basis. So, let's see if Mogi's coming in here. But our foundation here, we have lots of board members that are in Akron and in Columbus areas, and also in other states. We also have an advisory board that we put together a while back. We were that little foundation in Akron that that no one knew about for years. We have the 3 group homes. One of the homes that we run that we rent out to CSS Columbus to Community Sports Services, and the other one's to REM over in Stowe, and the one in Community Support Services is our family home on 403 Canton Road, in which we rent out those organizations to them. So we have just announced and started a transition to work program with St. Vincent St. Mary's, a guy named Dan Lancianis over there who helps development disabled individuals. And they have a program there in which they help the kids as they graduate transition over to other jobs through St. Mary's alumni out there. So we just started doing that. We're in our second year and a half of doing that program there. We find that to be one of the main themes that we're going after right now. We're also a big supporter of your Akron Rotary Camp. I had the pleasure to be out there at least 3 times here recently in the past 12 months. What an amazing place. That place can really change people's lives, and they do such wonderful work out there. And they got a new pontoon boat, and they asked for a sponsorship. So if you see that boat sailing around Port Lakes, you'll see the Reymann Foundation name on that. We also have one of the largest endowment funds at the University of Akron, and the endowment funds used for scholarships for kids, for students who want to go into the areas of special needs and DD and development disabilities. So let's refer back to Mogi's my speaker. I can run an organization, but speaking is not always my top thing to do here. See what else we have in here. We partner with the Summit Stars of Ohio Athletic Club and the Brooke McMahon Memorial Swim Meet. I don't know if anyone on the radio is familiar with either one of those, but the Brooke McMahon Memorial Swim Meet, we are one of the major sponsors for them. And Brooke McMahon was a swimmer who was developmentally disabled and passed away, and they've honored her with this program. And I don't know if anyone's been to that meet or that, but I think it's the second largest DD swim meet in this region of the United States. It's pretty remarkable what they're doing over there. We also support the Faith and Light Ministries, which does retreat out of Loyola. Like I said, we just started support of the Akron Rotary Camp out there too. Let's see what else we have in regards to the work that we do. We are an organization that is a 501c. We are charitable. We have grown the organization throughout the years, but of course, we used to do what's called the Reymann Foundation Reverse Raffle at the Elms every May, and of course, the COVID, we haven't been able to do that. So we're pleased to announce that we're having a fundraiser in November, and that's going to be our casino night that we're launching at the Elms, and we're looking for some support there if we can get some support out of that. John, you've been I know John Wiley for many years. He is our neighbor down here in Columbus, and his son and my son were best friends, playing lots of different sports together. So anything you'd like to add to what we do?
No, I mean, other than just to let folks know that, we support the developmentally delayed population, adult population. That's our main mission. I mentioned the program with our latest program with St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a jobs program that we're very excited about. Another part of what we do is provide housing for adults, the Reymann home there in Ellett. We also have another home up on Graham Road. So, those are just a few examples of what we do, working with the development community. And we work with Akron to help, bring along those folks, those students who may be interested in having a career working with the DD community. So we provide scholarships for that, which is very important as well.
Well, thanks, John. Yeah, we're an organization that for many years just did things because that's what they did it for years. And we've changed that. We got a new website that's out there that we think is very robust. And it does cover a lot of things, great stories that we're adding onto that. But our ability to be in Akron, we've been in Akron for years, in Northeast Ohio, and we're trying to become that foundation that people start knowing about, that we're out there. Our organization has grown, and being an organization that has grown, we give, of course, 5% of our net worth every year to other charities, and we look for people that are in our wheelhouse that we can support too. So we're looking for new partners, and we're also looking for people that we can help support. But by doing that, though, we also know that we need to raise money, and one of our fundraisers that we're doing here recently is the casino night, and we can provide whoever the information on that if you guys need to know more information going forward. So that's about all I have. Unless someone has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Cheryl, if you can see, because I had to go on my phone because I went in and out over 5 times. If you see if there's any questions, if you could field those, that would be great.
Yeah, you're not alone. I'd like to quickly ask, those people going in and out, are you all on Spectrum so we know?
Yes.
Gone. I'm gonna.
Yeah, Cheryl, I don't know if it helps or not. I'm at work and we're on our own T1 and I haven't lost it at all. So I'm wondering if it is Spectrum.
Yeah. Well, can you hear me, Karen? Okay. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, I want to thank Jonathan and John and Margaret, and God bless you guys. And, we started this meeting with Thane Billow opening us up with some comments and an invocation. He mentioned, sister from, forgive me, from India. And honestly, thank you for the hope, the healing, the love that you are sharing here in the Akron area and the lives that you're touching, because people need hope, people need healing, and you've been doing it. And we just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And also thank you for your involvement out at our camp. We really appreciate that and your faithfulness there. Sorry for what we had to face down here today with everything going on the internet, but it was insane.
Yeah, if we could get another chance, maybe when the connection's a little better, we'd be more than happy to come to another one of your meetings. In case the people that didn't hear it want to hear our story, it's pretty compelling. Like I said, the foundation's been around from Akron for years and big supporters of the Akron Rotary Camp. And, we're looking for people to hear what we do. So.
And
And
also, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just went on your website while we were here and signed up. You have a newsletter, so people can go on your website and sign up for the newsletter too.
Yeah. And Jonathan mentioned earlier, he said that this month, he said we were having your gala event. Was that the 30th, Jonathan, that you had shared?
Right, it's September 30th. It's in the evening. It's a Thursday night. And all the information is at ibh.org for the gala and anything else.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure.
Appreciate it. I have just a couple closing comments. We do have more birthdays. Tomorrow, Candace Harmon is having a birthday. And then on Friday, Karen Herdlicka, who we've heard from today, is having a birthday, followed by Chris Richardson, who is also involved in addiction recovery on Saturday, and Nick Browning from Huntington Bank. So this is a busy month for Rotarians and celebrations. So happy birthday to all of you. Thank you once again, Jonathan. Thank you, John. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, faithful Rotarians, for hanging in there in the midst of madness on the internet today. And maybe what we can do is look at possibly slating to bring you back where we're not having to fight the technology. So.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So if there are no other questions or comments, I'm going to officially call this meeting to a close, and hope that everybody has a better week. And I hope that we get this solved with what's going on with Spectrum. So God bless you all and have a great week.